Welcome back, folks, to Investor Diaries. This is the home ownership series video 4. In this video, we are going to walk through an example of home buying with numbers so that you can figure out what's your outflow per month. Does that make sense given the financial situation that you are in, and eventually if you should pull the trigger towards buying a house right now? I'll post a link to the previous videos we've done in this series because I think that those videos form the backbone of this particular video, so you should check them out. Anyways, getting on to this video, Nidish, let's say that I want to buy a house and I want to start with numbers. Where should I be looking at?
The first point to start off with is the offer price or the accepted offer price. Right? So suppose you fall in love with the house and you put an offer to it, and the offer got accepted. So congratulations, your offers got accepted, and you're on the first step to be a proud homeowner. So for the sake of numbers, for the sake of this example, let's say the offer that you put in and that was accepted was $500,000. Now, the next step to that is deciding how much you want to pay as a down payment to this home. Typically, in most scenarios or in most countries, the rule is that you need to have at least 5% price as down payment. So that's the minimum. But let's say you have some more cash that you have access to, and you decide to put 10% of the price as down payment. So that works out to be about $50,000, and you have that cash and you're ready to put that as a down payment. Now, in some countries, and especially here in Canada, you have to, if you are going for a high ratio mortgage, which is typically more than 80% loan to value, then you have to get a mortgage insurance. That's the rule. So with in this scenario, with a 10% down payment, you're at 90% loan to value, and you can look at the slab here. That works out to be approximately 3.1%. Now, this 3.1% on the loan to value, that is 450,000, gets added to your mortgage insurance gets added to your mortgage amount, and that becomes your overall mortgage that you need to pay over your amortization period. Now, you can have a look at the slabs here. One key thing to point out here is that suppose you're at 91% loan to value. Suppose you're a little shy of $50,000 in your down payment. So, and let's say your down payment's 9%. So in that case, one good thing to think about is maybe see if you can have access to cash and bring your down payment up to 10% and bring your loan to value down to 9%. The reason is there is a considerable difference in the slab when you are at 91% loan to value, when you go down to 90% loan to value. Your mortgage insurance goes from 4 to 3.1%. So that's just something that to keep in mind out there. But of course, if you do not have access to cash and you still want this home and you still want to be a homeowner, then go for it at whatever home insurance price that you can get at.
So, Nidish, on that point itself, let's say I have $75,000 and I have to make a choice here. Should I pay 10% or 15% because I'm in a position to pay both?
Right.
Then what should I do? Because I see that the percentages aren't all that different. So how should I go about it?
Yeah, so that's a good point. So at a 15%, your mortgage premium, mortgage insurance is about 2.8%, and at 10% it's 3.1%. So now the gap kind of narrows down. It's just a few basis points. So there are two steps here. So if you are new to investing, if you're new to home ownership, the first key principle is lower your costs, right? So if you have access to more cash, definitely put that up as down payment as 15% and go for it. You can reduce your insurance and you can gain access to a lower insurance cost. But if you're a more savvy investor out there, you've been in the investing game for a bit and you know your leverage game really well, it's always good to be better leverage. So with a few basis points, it's not a lot of difference, but you know that with that cash, you can invest somewhere and make more returns out of it. You feel that the stock market's going really well. There are a couple of stocks that you've done the fundamental analysis and you know you're pretty optimistic about getting returns on that, and you want access to that cash to put invested there, then you have our blessings. Go for it and do that. But this second part is something that we would recommend only for savvy investors out there.
So this was pretty insightful because a lot of people are in this situation in which they would rather have cash in their, say, checking or saving account so that they can make a decision and also diversify their investments. If, say, real estate is an investment, stock market is another investment. So now that we've known this, and we'll just take 10% for the sake of this particular calculation. So let's say we've decided that we are going to go ahead with 10% down payment, in which case our mortgage insurance premium becomes 3.1%, which works out to be $13,950. So this $13,950 will get added to my mortgage of $450,000. So eventually I'll be paying my principal and interest payments on $463,950. This is going to be my opening balance of mortgage. Next, one of the other things to do is try to shop around for the best mortgage rate, because the market is full of mortgage providers. Some of them are big banks, some of them are credit unions, some of them are smaller organizations. But it's really important to understand there are two key components to getting a good mortgage. One, what's the mortgage rate? And second, what's the flexibility associated with the mortgage? So I think these are the two key components that you should think about. But as Nitish mentioned in the previous video, you should have at least 1 month gap between the day that your offer is accepted to the closing of the deal. Because during this time, you can go and shop around for mortgages. A quick suggestion would be that you should always ask for some written proof of the mortgage that a bank or a financial institution is willing to offer you. Because once you have that, you can take that written document over to another financial institution, ask them to consider your application and give you a better rate than what a previous organization was giving you. So this way, even if you're able to get a reduction of, say, 20 basis points, you stand to save a lot over a long run, because this is amortized over a period of 20-25 years. So let's just assume that you were able to get a mortgage rate of 2% and you went ahead with a 5-year fixed term, which means that your outflows over the period of next 5 years from a mortgage perspective is pretty constant and there would be no changes. So your net monthly outflow to the mortgage company in this case will work out to be $1,965. There are two other costs to consider as far as your monthly outflow is concerned. One is going to be the property taxes. So in this particular case, we can assume that, say, your property taxes is going to be something close to $1,800, which works out to be $150 a month. And next, say your condo fee. So if you bought a condo, you have to pay a condo fee, and that's going to be, say, it varies, but for the purpose of this argument, for this discussion, we'll assume it's about $300. So 300 plus 150 is 450. This will get added to your mortgage payments as your outflow every single month. So you should also take that into account.
Yeah, those are really good points. Those are really good additional points that Happy mentioned. That could be that should be considered as part of your net outflow. So apart from all these factors, there could be some closing costs as well that that you might need to consider. This could be fees that you pay to the lawyer. This could be also home inspection fees that you need to pay when you get an inspector to come check during your during the 1 month gap that you have from the offer acceptance till the closing. So there are additional costs also to be considered, and there's a huge variability here. So for the sake of this video, we can consider 1% of your overall costs as like your closing costs, which you need to consider while on a path to be a homeowner. So this is the video that we wanted to go over in numbers, and we wanted to give all the folks out there an idea of what what your cost structure would look like when you decide to become a homeowner and on the path to home ownership. So it's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. Please let us know in comments how you like this video, and if you want us to go through any other scenarios, if you would like us to go through a high ratio scenario, we'd be happy to do that. So please let us know your feedback and your thoughts, and yeah, stay tuned for our next video on this series.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.